Hi there, thanks for tuning in to Make This Happen, where we discuss an idea we've been dying to see come alive. Every week, my friend, Jay Yee, and myself, Alex Gonzalez, will bring you a product you never knew you needed. Now let's get started with exercise clothing. Now, what exactly am I talking about, exercise clothing? I want to create exercise clothing that's such. Maybe we'll make it so that you get real life haptic feedback directed right into your clothing. And what do I mean by that? I mean, these are going to be clothes that will tell you hydration levels. They will tell you temperature. They will tell you whether you're getting into an unhealthy place or if you need some water or how far you've been moving. Now you may be thinking, well, that's a little crazy. How can you sit there and have clothing that would do all this? But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about an accessory that would go interwoven into the clothing, because there's other things out there. There's tons of products that I'm sure you're thinking of. There's shoes that track, but it makes them heavier. There's straps that go across your chest, but it becomes cumbersome and uncomfortable. There's a watch that you'll sweat into and then eventually it'll smell. I'm talking about something where you plug in, maybe it's on the shoulder, through some seams, and then from there, it'll collect data. And that data will alert you and assist you in your workout. Now, Jay, what do you think so far?
All right, I have a couple ideas for you, and we with my idea, I think we just have to backtrack a little bit, and it can't do everything that you just said, but it could do some of the stuff. The first thing I want to talk about is the placement, because I think the placement is obvious. The placement of this removable digital chip will be where the tag normally is, like right above the small of your back.
That's
like
perfect.
Your
and
neck.
For all you Gundam fans, it's like you're tapping into your spine so you can get one with the Gundam just right there.
Yeah. And then for your pants, same deal, where the label is, usually like where the belt is, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, or right underneath it, just right there. And we'll have it like pretty sturdy. Like, you know how like some fancier brands will have like the leather patch instead of just like a cloth thing. It'd be kind of like that, not quite leathery patchy, but like more like that harder bendable material. And then it's like a little SD little slide and chip thing.
And I was thinking the same thing. And then there would be a cap. And then it would be waterproof in the sense that you could seal it off, put the cap on, and you could wash it. And nothing would happen to it. But then you'd slide the cap off. And what I mean by that is it have maybe a hinge or something.
I was thinking you just remove it, and then you could throw it in the wash.
Oh, that works great too. And then you can plug it into your computer, or you can do something else and then get that real life haptic feedback every day, or have a companion app on your phone. And
now,
I think
second idea that I had with this is from that patch on both your pants and your top, and obviously these things are skin tight. It's gonna have these wires that come from the patch and go all the way out, kind of like little lines that kind of go all the way throughout your top and your pants. And that's where it's going to have all its receptors on terms of how much movement you are moving, how like much moisture is gathering or whatever. And I just see these kind of like long plastic, like not wires, but that's the best way I could describe them. They're just plastic wires that have like some kind of nerve endings to them. I don't know how else to describe it, but like sensors on them. Nothing too crazy and nothing like too advanced, but like, because I don't want these shirts to be like $200, more like in the $80 range. But they'll sense like, movement, moisture, and
temperature.
Yeah, temperature. There we go.
And what could be cool about it is then they could talk to each other. So if you're playing a basketball game, and let's say you're part of an organization that's sponsored by us in a sport that is quite lucrative, you could have each of your teammates use it and then team up, and then you guys could also have a high score. See who's working the hardest, see who's moving the fastest, and track biometrics that way as well.
Another thing we could do is have them also have some kind of impact detection to see if like you got, let's say a football jersey had this on, if you got hit super hard in the chest, if that was like the amount of pressure you got hit with, how dangerous.
Oh, it could give
Of
warnings, yeah,
force.
to see if you're
Yeah.
concussed or not. And then that
Yeah.
way, sit there and suggest a break or do something of that nature. No, completely, completely. That's a
Right.
great idea as well.
And I feel like these could be put into like headbands as well, like sweatbands and stuff like that. You could put this into socks
Wristbands
even.
to get that pulse. Yeah, socks as well.
And I think all of these, to keep it cheaper, each article of clothing, the pants and shirt, I think do the same thing, but the headband and wristband and socks all track different things. And so if you want to have how many calories you're burning or like more stuff about your feet, you have to get the socks. If you want your heartbeat, you have to get the wristbands. If you want maybe the sweat detection is actually in the headband, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and the headband could also tell you if you're concussed and stuff like that.
Oh, absolutely. And the thing is, for major sports organizations, if you track this data over a season, you can see when players are at their best, when they're at their worst, when they're performing at their best. Is it at the beginning of the game? Is it at the middle of the game? Do they peter out? You'd have data saying maybe their stride could be improved if they stop putting as much pressure on their feet. Maybe there's something where they're moving their arms too much. Are they getting overheated? Maybe they run hot and they have to wear different clothing. Maybe they're too cold. All this stuff could be detected. You could even look at injuries and see what exactly happened during that injury and break it down based on movements.
Yes.
Now,
is it going to have that kind of tracking where it has like a time grid and you can like fast scrub through it to see what you were doing at a certain time during that workout?
I was thinking it would have a companion app in which you could record out all the data each day where you take the chip out, put it in, and then you could chart it over the course of months.
I see. So like your daily stats, like saving your Apple Watch statistics at the end of the day type of thing.
Exactly. And then you could use that data and do what you want with it.
Yeah, for sure. Let's make an extension of this and make sleepwear as well.
I was actually, you read my mind. I was thinking about going that far and doing sleepwear as well, where the sleepwear would have just not that big of a microphone, just a normal one to detect sleep apnea, detect your O2 levels, your blood circulation, and also maybe if we could, no, we couldn't do digestion. There's no way.
No way, unless you put a fucking, what are they called? The tube.
So it's like these shorts where you're like, all right, plug me in. There we go.
But I could see it where I know it would look silly, but for comfort's sake, it could be like pretty loose fitting, but at the wrists and wherever the leg closing is, it like has like elastic ribboning, and so like that's where it will get your pulse and stuff, is wherever it is shrunk down to. And then the collar as well is like a little stretchy, so it gets tight when you're sleeping, and that's where the microphone is. And it still has all this plastic wiring all throughout it, and so it could tell where you're putting your pressure when you sleep, and if you're like sleeping with your back crooked or anything like that.
And it could do another function where it gently awakes you, where instead of it being an alarm or anything, you feel a small pulse vibration that slowly makes your body come alive.
Exactly. I was also thinking in the same vein where it would have an alarm clock function inside of it as well.
Now, this would be the most accurate tabular data to choose how many calories you burned as well. It would be able to show you.
I think for that, you would have to connect it to an Apple Watch or a Fitbit, and you could like compare data that way, and it could read that data. Like, we'll make it compatible with most smartwatches to be able to calculate all the stuff you burned even without wearing the suit. and then just give you a calculation at the end of the day.
And now this would also make it so that people in sports entertainment, if they wanted to replay plays, they'd be able to have the data and then almost be able to put up what would be stick figure like people on the position of the field and show exactly what happened during injuries and during plays in a breakdown that has never ever been seen before. So that someone, for instance, could look at LeBron's dunk and break it down step by step, the torque and what makes him particularly different compared to another player, especially just the angle of what you're doing. The Olympics could be shown like none other of the Olympics before.
I think those, you're talking more like motion capture type stuff. And I feel like that would have to be an upgraded version of this that has
It would be
gyro
the super
sensors.
premium, yeah.
Yeah. And motion detectors inside the suit as well.
I
But it's
think
definitely
it would be
possible.
great. Like, it would almost be like a Pokemon where you're like, my QB is taking too much damage. Look at this. He's in the reds. Let's pull him back.
Yeah. But I could definitely see a more premium version that does have more motion sensors and stuff. That then you can make that transfer over to a program on a computer, and there will be like a wire frame that's an estimate. And maybe that could also be used in motion capture as well.
And I was thinking for combat sports in particular, you could see what the effects of strikes did, since you're going to be plugged in that way, where it'll show what it does to the vitals. Like if someone gets hit with a liver shot, what it does to their pulse, what it does to their vitals. Does it make them sweat all of a sudden?
Yeah. But this is going to be like an Under Armour type of situation, right? Something
Yes.
you wear underneath your clothing.
Exactly. Like a rash guard for sure. Are there any other applications, any other improvements you could think of? The socks, the shorts, the shirt, the headband.
I mean, not really. I feel like it can't do everything, but with other products like a Fitbit or an Apple Watch or something like that, you could definitely fill in the blanks that it can't do. And also comfort-wise, I don't know how comfortable it would be, but we do the best you can, I guess.
What if it's just like light copper wiring that's throughout? The only thing, or wiring throughout, the only thing we'd have to say is do not wear this in a thunderstorm.
See, that's what I was trying to avoid. That's why I was thinking like some weird plastic
Or
nerve ending type of deal. You won't get a too accurate of a reading, but you'll get an estimate.
Or you get the most accurate reading ever. But if you do get struck by lightning, it's like an anime where it converts it to energy, and then you move faster.
Or you just get fried.
Or you just get fried. I don't think so. It doesn't necessarily have to be made out of metal. It just has to be metal inside conducting and then using Bluetooth. So I think we would be okay.
Yeah.
Under Armour, make this happen. Thanks for listening. If you have any suggestions or products you'd like to see talked about, feel free to write in at @poundgames@gmail.com. We have a Patreon. If you'd like to join the @Pound family, come find us at patreon.com/wearenotgamedevs. Patrons receive episodes 2 days early, meaning Make This Happen gets to your ears that much sooner. If you enjoyed our show, take a second to give us a review. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play Store, and more. Catch you guys next Sunday with Jay's idea.
We'll go with the similar theme of clothing, and we'll talk about suits.
Suits. You know what I was thinking about also for these clothes? It could actually tell you when your waist size is appropriately down or your shirt size is loose enough that you need to buy a new shirt where it's like, congratulations, you are now a size medium.
Now give us $80.
If you turn this shirt in with the proprietary technology, we'll give you $20 off your next purchase.
And we get to keep all your data and use it to sell your everyday activities.
$30 off just for the data. You're welcome.
Now let me just call up your digital profiler.
I was or we don't sell your data, but instead you'll get pings on your phone. Hey, you're getting extra sweaty. Why not cool off with an ice cold Gatorade G2 hydration? Enjoy it now at the nearest store near you. Circle K in 1.5 miles.
Your feet are getting a little heavy. I think you need the new ultralight Nikes. Only $200.
Found at a Foot Locker in the South Bay Mall. It's like giving you just very direct things.
Yeah.
As you're dreaming, you're like, I don't know. I dreamed about the new Jamba Juice smoothie. Did you?
That has the soothing CBD oil for my aching back.
There we go.